Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear respected brothers and sisters, not long ago I fell down from bicycle and I lost a few teeth in front, and I know I'm using partial and I'm very uncomfortable with it until inshallah I put implants later on. So please bear with me. Now, not long ago I uploaded a video in YouTube, and after I watched it myself later on, I noticed that it needs kind of to be revisited or revised and go to the point faster. Now, I haven't given any label for this video purposely for the reason that you will soon find out why. Okay, then let's start, shall we? I'm making this video in United States, but what I'm about to say is true for all other countries that they are not Islamic. Let's say New Zealand, Australia, England, and Canada, that they have pretty good population of Muslims. Now we know that Friday is not a day off. We all are working. And if you are a student, you will be missing classes. If you are academician, you can just leave the class and come to the Friday prayer. And it takes almost 2 hours for the Friday Salat to come and make wudu and then go and drive and go back and forth and so on. So you need at least 2 hours in reality. Now, sometimes you want to make it within 1 hour. From 1 to 2, you ask permission from where you work that you take off. Then sometimes the khutbah is too long and you are very uncomfortable. Hey, just shaitan comes inside you and you come on man, quick, hurry up, I have to go. You notice that somebody inside you is talking and saying all of this. So you don't even learn, you don't even see what the subject of the khutbah was and what the khatib was talking about. And sometimes there are cases that you see in the middle of the khutbah, if it is a little bit long, some people walk out. They have job, they have to leave, and they weren't expecting to be that long. We have seen that, all of us that are in non-Islamic countries, as those countries, especially that I mentioned, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So why don't we all come together and instead of making salat on Friday, make it on Saturday, the very same time. 1 o'clock we call adhan, and then we make khutbah, and after that we don't have to rush. And also we have what? We can sit after that and socialize and even discuss some matters of religion. And also, you know who made the calendar? We made the calendar. So when here is Friday, some other part of the world, the other part of the globe is Thursday, and the other part of the globe is what? Is Saturday. So our salat on Saturday can coincide with the salat exact time on Friday in Mecca. So we are making khutbah and making salat on Saturday, which is exactly the same time they are doing in Mecca at that time. Isn't that interesting? So why don't we do that? What is wrong? See the logic of that. And also, if psychologically it hurts you, you don't like it, the name that they have given, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and so on, they have different name in different languages, isn't that right? So talking about America, talking about English, just on your calendar, cross the Saturday, and on the top of it, write Jum'ah, so that you know that is Jum'ah, you want to go for Jum'ah Salat. Common sense, isn't that? Now, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, what is my point of saying that? My point of saying that is that I am in this country since late 73, and I have seen it all. I was in Long Island, New York, that with the same persuasion, with the same logic, with the same manipulation, they were making salat on Saturday. And the strange part of it is that the place, I don't want to call it masjid, the place was filled up. They call adhan, they make khutbah, they make salat, Saturday, nothing wrong. Do you follow what my point is of bringing this subject up? Now, the answer of this is one single short ayah in Quran. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. No, can they, those manipulators, can they fool about a person who has the knowledge? I don't mean the knowledge of chemistry and physics and mathematics. We don't call it knowledge in Islam. Knowledge in what? In Islam. And knowledge of Islam is practice of Islam. That is the knowledge of Islam. Now, when I left home, I'm from Iran originally, there was no Friday Salat. I never even heard about it. A teenager, I left in early 20s of my age. I didn't know. So, if somebody would have told me what I just told you, I would have 100% accepted. When I was in America, the first Friday Salat that I found out, there is such a thing as Friday Salat. I was in Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. That I went there and they make Salat for Friday. I didn't know they make it for 2 rakat. I didn't know they make khutbah. I liked it. I say, it's an excellent idea. Where does it come from? I didn't know it was in Islam and it is in Quran and it's a command of Allah Azza wa Jal. There is a surah about that. And when I was in Long Island, New York, the way that the person said, the persuasion, the manipulation would have 100% I have accepted. Not only I accepted, but also I would have gone and propagated and talk to others and bring others to what? To that gathering. So become part of it, which is nothing short of Beddah. Now what is my point of bringing this subject up, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam? I'm going to make my khutbah about this kind of subject, is that I'm going to talk about doctor, sheikh, a scholar, theologian, Yasir Qadi, big shot. I'm going to talk to him, point my finger to him. Now in one of his videos, that inshallah I will find it and put the site link of it in the comment part of it, he denies Ajuj and Majuj, Gag and Magog. His manipulation, he's excellent in manipulating words. Excellent. That is a talent, and unfortunately some people use it negatively. He said, we know GPS. We know every inch of our earth. We know every part of the globe. So if there is such a thing as Ajuj and Majuj, where are they? And people are listening to him. Where are they? And it's 5,000-6,000 years past. How could they live? How can that wall live that long? They would have been destroyed by that time. The atmosphere, the wind, and those kind of things destroyed that one. Nothing can live for 5,000 or 10,000 years. He's saying, not me. And if they are under the ground, then how can they breathe? So it's another word to him that is a fairy tale story, where has been mentioned in Quran absolutely, explicitly. And one time Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came home. I don't recall which one of his wife was that with him, that he was very nervous. And his wife asked him, oh Rasulullah, why are you so nervous today? He said that I saw that Ajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog, they have made a hole. He put his finger this way, a hole. So he was so scared that hole, that's it, that's the end. Because if Ajuj and Majuj, they come up, They are flawed. They are flawed. They are worse than the disaster of the COVID-19 and the bacteria or other, microscopic thing. And as a matter of fact, they said that there is a lake, smaller than sea. And the people come and say, hey, there was a lake here, what happened? If all the people at this time and all the animals at this time, they come and drink from that lake, which is big enough to call it even sea, the water is not going to finish. But the Ajuj and Majuj, they drink and drink and drink and drink, the water is finished. So you can see what is the number of them. The number of them. And then even Hazrat Isa cannot fight with them. They go to the cave and hide themselves. You know the story of them. And Bible has mentioned, they call them Gog and Magog. So how can a mister, a sheikh, a theologian, a scholar that he claimed to be, and he sits and pose on camera for looking like he's a big shot, can contradict himself and say things like that? How dare he is. And how dare we are not to stand up and say, hey man, you cannot say contradiction into what is in the Quran. Who are you? Now, I make another analogy, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Listen carefully. You know the milk of the camel or the milk of buffalo. If you make yogurt after from the milk of buffalo, you don't know how fascinating tasty it is. Or you put your finger there and you bite your finger, you don't even feel pain. It's that tasty it is. Fascinating. Now suppose you milk a buffalo and 10 gallons of milk. 10 gallons. And then your little son count and urine in that. Urine. And the urine of a little boy, 3, 4 years old, is a cup. So 1 cup of urine is put into 10 gallons of extremely tasty and expensive milk of what? Of buffalo. What do? You throw that 10 gallons out. You threw it out 100%. You can't drink it. 1 cup of urine was in there. That's exactly what some of those people that they are called so-called scholars they claim to be. They are plus scholars. Theologian, they have been to Yale or Harvard or Oxford University and they brag about it. What? They say, yes, 9 things they say good. Yes, there are lots of good things they say. But that 1 cup of urine destroys all of them. Destroys all of them. It pollutes that one. Not even if it is 1 cup, even if it is 1 drop of urine, you put in 10 gallons of milk, yourself, you wouldn't drink it. Think about it. No, it's not the only one. He also mentioned in one of his khutbah, one of his YouTube lectures, that worshipping, going to the grave and worshipping there is nothing wrong with that. And he turns it around, manipulates so nicely that an uneducated mind can accept it. And people are sitting there and they don't say anything. Someone, people, the people of the Islam has become today. Coward. Now, the other thing about this subject is that not long ago I watched Huda, is that right? Huda TV. That there are some good scholars, they talk over there. One of them is, Muhammad Salah, is that right? And I couldn't believe what I saw. The masjid was filled up, by the way. It's a Fajr Salat. And the guy is working for about 5 minutes, setting up his cell phone on the, and then Imam call, And people in front of the line, all bigger than me and big stomach, I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's a fact. Many Muslims, unfortunately, they started to have big stomach, especially from Saudi Arabia. I don't want to go to detail on that one. And in the front line, quite few of them with the big stomach, they come and help him. And now Salat started. And he's reading, reciting Salat for Fajr from his cell phone. From his cell phone. And the people are standing behind him, about 4 or 5 lines, and nobody talks. Nobody talks. And you have the freedom of speech in this country, in America. You can stand up. Inshallah, I wish I was there. I stand up. This is Beddah, you cannot do that. No, if you can read Quran from your cell phone, the cell phone should not be in the masjid to begin with, then there is no need for Hafiz Quran. It takes in the average of 2 to 4 years to memorize Quran. And when you memorize it, the more repeat it, the more ajr you are getting. But it takes only 2 weeks to learn how to read it. So that's it, that's the end of memorization. There is no need to memorize, everybody has cell phone. So forget about memorization. Who is doing that? Huda. So they are inserting what? Inserting Bed'ah inside the masjid. Some of them are true munafiqeen. Some of them are mentally know very little knowledge about Islam, and they are MDs, they are professors, and they think they are better than anybody else. Islam was in the past. Now we have to live the way we are. Muhammad was living, sitting on the camel, so we don't have to take aeroplane. That is their mentality. And they are ruling masjid, many masjid in the United States, and bring a lot of Bed'ah. And they are propagating that. And that Muhammad Salah, whatever his name is, he should come out of Huda TV and say, hey, I'm not going to be part of you. I do not permit you to abuse me, in a sense, to be there, that you are a Bed'ah, you are Ahlul Bed'ah. You are bringing Bed'ah. And that brother, that is not a liter, that is a drop, that is a cup. It's more than a cup putting in 10 gallons of milk. This is Bed'ah. This is, the first, Muhammad, as you already know, Ismail and Ibrahim did not put idol in the Kaaba. The first person who bring the idol there, he didn't even intend to bring it as a worshipping, but as a decoration. And 359 more followed from the first one coming. And the entire peninsula become mushrik because of one idol. Millions. How much hardship they gave to our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those mushrikeen. One idol. Now that morning when they make Huda, they bring and propagate and put it in YouTube to do what? To get away from memorizing Quran. And if there is no memorization of Quran, then they can pollute it. They can change the words around. Then become like a Bible polluted. And the time will come that the scholars are finished, the Hafiz of Quran are finished, then Allah Azza wa Jal takes Quran out. There is hadith for that. And about the manipulation, the power of manipulation is the one that creates what? Creates mob. And the mobs are destructive. One of the hadiths that is in the book of the hadith, Sahih Bukhari, is that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that there was a man that a whore, a prostitute, a loose woman, came and he wanted evil with that guy. He was a very pious person. He refused. And women are very, very revengeful and harmful if you reject them. I changed about subject, may Allah forgive me to say, but I have been subject to that myself. They are cobra snake if you reject them. So she goes purposely to a shepherd to get pregnant. And when she gives birth to the child, she accused that pious man, he is the father. No, people immediately become mob. You see, that's where mob come from. Mobs. And if they would have found him, possibly they would have beat him to death. Fortunately, they didn't, but they destroyed his house. That you were fooling us. You were showing that you are a pious person and you are an adulterer. Here is a witness. The woman is saying, the child is saying. So what did that person see by the will of Allah? He made salat to Allah Azza wa Jal, exactly the way we do, made ablution and made salat. That's exactly Islam was with all other prophets before and the pious people before. And he asked Allah Azza wa Jal, said, you know the truth. So he came to him hard, to his heart by Allah Azza wa Jal to go to the child. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional. And he asked the child, he said, who is your father? And the child was born 2 days ago, or 1 day ago. And he mentioned who his father is, the shepherd. And then the people come together, they apologize him. They want to make his house out of gold and silver. And he says, no, please, mud. He begged for mud. He was a very humble person. Now, what is my point? My point is about manipulation. About what? About persuasion. No, not long ago happened before the Taliban. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant victory to the Taliban forever, and inshallah the victory of Islam comes from Afghanistan for the suffering they have gone over and the brave people there, mashallah. Before Taliban, there was a sheikh that the woman, I don't know, accused or whatever has happened, I don't know the sign before that the woman, he said that I'm going to burn Quran, or I have burned Quran, or something like that. And Muslims are very sensitive about or not being burned. Even Shia, even in Iran, they die to protect it. And if they see you are burning in that country, they kill you 100%. No, what happened? The sheikh announced it, and the people got mob immediately. The poor woman, shame on you. They beat that woman to death. They killed her, a woman. Then what? Then they took her dead body and put on the back of the car and drive to the city, making think that they have done such a great job. Mobs, manipulation, persuasion. That's what ends up to this kind of crime. It ends up. Now, let me see. One thing I would like to mention about the Ajuj and Majuj that I forgot to mention is that the children of Israel, they were prisoned with Hazrat Musa in desert for the evil that they do. They were very arrogant and dissatisfied people. Now Islam says that, not that to insult or cause any kind of animosity against any Jews, but he says that we learn from their mistakes. So then what happened? Allah Azza wa Jal made the desert for them a jail. So they were walking. They look at the sun. This is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. So let's go toward east, for example. We get out of this desert. And they could navigate night from the stars. So they keep going and going and going and going and going and then come back same place. Hey, what's going on? We are traveling for 1 week and we come back same place. We are traveling for 1 month, we are coming same place. Now, what is my point, my dear respected brothers and sisters, is that Allah Azza wa Jal, there is not everything is so simple. You can't say as Mr. Sheikh, a scholar, I don't know, the Yale University theologian, Yasser Qadi, denying Ajuj Majuj and making fun of it. Consider that as a fairy tale stories. Now, is Allah Azza wa Jal not capable to make it that GPS is a joke? No matter where you look, you cannot find them. You go and they go away and away from you. They are traveling for 1 month, they come back same place. Don't you accept that? Don't you know the power of Allah Azza wa Jal? 10,000 years, he says no wall can stay that long. Look at his lecture, brother. Inshallah, I find it. I have to search for it myself. And I was going to break the screen of my computer when I watched that one. That I give the site link of it. I'm repeating myself. Inshallah, you find it yourself. If you did find it, please put it in the comment section for others to watch. And if he hasn't deleted from being shameful. And there are other scholars, so-called. They are called doctors, sheikh. There are born in Wichita, there is Wichita, Kansas, you name it. I have been in this country long enough, almost 50 years. I have seen it all. And I'm going to share with you and mention name. That inshallah they listen. If they have a khairat, they go under the ground. They bury themselves. Bringing beddah, bringing the dirt. And yes, 9 things they say good, but 1 thing destroys that. Kick him out. There is another one, a charlatan is better name to call him. He's trying to bring absolutely different, and he's very persuasive. He's very good with English, 1,000 times better than I could speak English. And he's making another kind of Qadiani, Ahmadiyya, another kind of branch of Islam is creating in YouTube. I mentioned name. Inshallah, I will continue that. Then each of my lectures that I give or lecture of my video, I will be talking about particular person. So that to shame them. Now you go and beat that poor woman, even if she said she's going to burn Quran. She says it from what? Anger. She's a Muslim. You have no right to judge and pass. You take it to the court, to the Islamic court. And she may apologize. She may, Allah forgive me. She pays alms. She gives sadaqah and asks forgiveness with the soft words. You say, what did you do, my dear sister? What did you say? Ask Allah for forgiveness. I talked one time with a British person who was saying something. I immediately told him to fall down and prostrate to God and ask him forgiveness, what you have said. And he immediately accepted. He melted. With the persuasion way that I persuaded him, what he says was a great sin. So the person sometimes is a bad mood, sometimes he has distraction, sometimes is maybe mentally there's something wrong. He may say something that he doesn't mean. You have no right whatsoever to jump to the conclusion and murder. Who are you to do such a thing? I can talk about this subject happening so many other things. Inshallah, as the time passes and more videos I make. Inshallah. Allah Azza wa Jal give me the honor. Now, let me see, I put few things so that I don't forget what I want to say. But one thing that we have to be very, very cautious is that we have to have bravery. So when you see wrong, you must stand up. It's a part of the Islam. And I don't know about Hazrat Dawood, if he was prophet or not. But when he went to face Jalut, and Jalut was a giant person, they say when he was sitting on the horse, his feet was completely touching the ground. So he was sitting on like a little boy sitting on a doll, excuse me. And he had all his body full of armors, that metal, that nothing could penetrate. even though he was giant still, and his sword was 3 times taller than anybody else's sword, and he was strong enough to hold it. So it was in reality, it was an elephant. And the people of the Israel with Hazrat Dawood, they were scared. And their number was much, much less than the soldiers of the Jalut. So what did the Dawood said? ثبت أقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ثبت أقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ثبت أقدامنا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. So he made dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. And he took his stone and turned it, and a stone hit him exactly same place that if it would have hit him any other place would have not jumped around like you threw a ping pong ball to the wall, it jumps back to you. He hit him between the two eyes. That was the only part open. He hit him exactly same spot. By the glory of Allah Azza wa Jal, he fell down and his soldier ran away. And that pleased Allah Azza wa Jal so much because of bravery he showed, that possibly he become a prophet. I don't know if he was a prophet selected before or not. My knowledge is not too much. But he was a king. He gave him kingdom. We call it King David, they call it in Quran, in Bible. And he also, his son benefit from him, from his bravery. And that was Hazrat Sulaiman. And about Hazrat Sulaiman also I want to say another story that is in the book of Hadith possibly, but I heard it in other sources. And that was a woman who was extremely beautiful. Beauty is also a gift of Allah Azza wa Jal, give to some people that they have to protect it. Sometimes that gift of beauty is the worst enemy of that person, especially a woman. So she had some kind of dispute. She goes to the judge, and the judge could not control himself of the beauty that she had. He was so attracted. So he was going to give the judgment to her in exchange for something, excuse my word, but sexual advancement. She refused and left. And that happens to 2 other judges she went. So then they got very upset, the 3 judges, and they said, hey, we have to do something to revenge her. So they come together and they went to the court. That was Hazrat Sulaiman, in fact, was the judge in there, and they accused the woman of committing zina with dog. That also indicates that a story says that if you do evil with dog, you should be stoned to death. Is a fornication. In fact, it's worse than fornication with human being. So if the woman has done it with the dog and there are witnesses, she could be stoned to death, even though she is not married. So they go to Sulaiman and they say, yes, that's what she has done, and we have 3 people and we have witnessed it. Falsely, of course. And Sulaiman didn't jump into the conclusion. He had the wisdom, mashallah. He didn't jump and, okay, let's bring her here and let's stone her. These 3 people are judges. They are high ranked and they are not going to lie. So he separated them and he started to question them about description of the dog. And each of them, they give different description. I don't know what happened to the end of the story, but if I'm in authority and find out, I stone those 3 people. But what my point is not to come to the conclusion too quickly. Always contemplate. Use analytical thinking. Use your critical thinking. Don't jump to the conclusion quickly and become part of the mobs. And commit a crime that is a hideous crime, is a crime that will lead you to Jahannam. So be very cautious about that. And the people that they do bring Beddah, stop it. Now the reason I'm a little bit upset of this Beddah, of this Huda TV that they were trying to propagate, because another masjid, I'm in Grand Fork, North Dakota, The person was doing something because he saw that one in Huda. He was making Fajr Salat and Isha Salat reading from his cell phone. Even though he knows better, even though what he knew a lot of Quran by heart, a Somalian brother. And I stood up, alhamdulillah. I stood up strong. And people are in the line and they're puppet, they're robot. They see it, but they're blind. They hear, but they're deaf. That's what has become to the world of Islam. They come to masjid, it's an exercise. They go to bow and ruku and sujood in a second, few seconds. They go to sujood. What kind of salat is it? They come to the masjid Friday and he's playing game with his cell phone game or sending messages and coming back. In the middle of the salat, the phone rings. And by Allah, by Allah, by Allah, I wasn't there, that one brother was saying in Galanford, in the middle of the salat, the person say hello and he's talking. Why? Because it has become is habit to him. He doesn't recognize, doesn't realize that he's doing wrong. This cell phone is nothing short of one-eyed Dajjal. This phone must not be in the masjid to begin with. And all those big shot scholars that they talk, they have their cell phone in front of them. When I see that cell phone in front of him, he is no longer a scholar to me. He is a follower of Shaitan, because one-eyed Dajjal is the cell phone. And I'm old enough, not long ago, 25 years ago, there was no cell phone. And the life was so fascinating and so comfortable. With the cell phone has come so many evil. The woman is divorcing her husband, a Muslim, because her husband in the bed is watching pornography. And when he was pornography as a teenager and a nice looking body, his wife doesn't look nice anymore to him. He hasn't touched a woman for 2-3 months, but they sleep next to that. He's watching and enjoying of the pornography. The woman is coming and complaining about that. That is the cell phone. The cell phone has brought the pornography into the bed. Now if the kuffar do that, it's different, but when the Muslims are doing, it's a shame. And in the masjid, in the middle of the khutbah, you see that in the Friday I'm talking about, the person, his phone rings. Some of them, they walk toward the door to go outside so that they can talk, but they're talking on the way. They're talking on the way to go out. And some of them, in the masjid, in the middle of khutbah, they're talking to the person, the other side. Has become part of it. And I haven't heard any khutbah that the khatib says that please turn your cell phone off. Or the best is to say, please do not bring your cell phone inside masjid. So if I make one time a khutbah saying that, they don't want me to make any more khutbah. He is fundamentalist. He lives 1500 years ago. Cell phone is part of it, we cannot help it. They have born in the time of cell phone. 25 years is long enough. New generation, they were born with this shaitan. And cell phone is nothing but the brother of the Dajjal, is one-eyed Dajjal. So if you are a true believer, you don't bring your cell phone inside the masjid. If you want to read Quran from your cell phone, there are lots of Quran in the masjid. Why do you need to bring your cell phone and read it from that? And in that cell phone that you are reading Quran, is what? Is also pornography, is also dirt. Anything you turn it on, the picture comes. And Muhammad has said to the Malaika of Allah, they do not go to any houses that there are pictures. And cell phone is full of pictures. So why are you taking our beloved, the millions, billions of the angels that they come to the Friday in the masjid to listen to the khutbah, to enjoy the recitation of Quran, to get away. And if the angels do not come, your salat and our salat may not go above the ceiling of that, the roof of that masjid. But that's what has become, my dear respected brothers and sisters. In the middle of the khutbah, the imam, his phone started to ring. Some of them very dirty Arabic music, ballet dancing music. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to turn it off. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to turn it off. If you have a qairat, you don't bring your cell phone over there to begin with because you are supposed to be a role model. The others, they watch you, and what? They follow you. There is nothing wrong. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون. Allah Azza wa Jal classified mu'mineen, and after salat he mentioned those that they are not mu'mineen, they are not in the class of mu'mineen, those that they talk. It's like a bark of a dog. My dear respected brothers and sisters, is a fact. Listen to me. Talk. And some of them are addicted to that. I was with one brother going for slaughtering. The trip was about 2 hours one way. This phone, his cell phone was on, and he was talking all the way going and coming back. And we are going for a slaughtering, which means the brother is a Muslim, huh? And nonsense. I didn't know what he was talking about. It's Arabic. I'm not an Arab, unfortunately, in a sense. Muslim. So what is the consequence of this that has become chain reaction? We pay the price. The innocent suffers because of the guilt, and the guilt has increased. The number of munafiqeen, the number of unusually bad Muslim has increased. The pollution has increased so much, brother. And that is the reason Mughal comes, Genghis Khan comes and destroyed us. The damage that Genghis Khan did to the Islamic civilization, the number of Muslims that he killed, what were there? Was much worse than what Hitler did to the Jews. Much worse. The atrocities that he did to us. Why are we subject to this kind of atrocities? Because we go back at the end of each century. So Allah Azza wa Jal cleans us, and then new one comes, and inshallah they are better. They survive another 100 years. At the end of the century, the world is polluted again. The world is polluted again. Right now, the pollution in the Islamic world is much worse than the pollution in non-Islamic. Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates, now it's going to Saudi Arabia. You don't know how disgusting has become. The homosexuality, the human trafficking. I have been in there. It's gross, it's disgusting, the world of Islam has become. Now, one reason is that it's because of you. You don't speak out. You don't stand up, so you become part of it. Someone bought man umman. The masjid, the person is talking, brother, you don't bring your cell phone to that. Some of them, they want to become physical. I've had that situation. When you see a jahil, qalu salaman. It's not that I couldn't handle him physically. But what is the point? So my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, I'm going to make inshallah more talk about similar kind of the subject. I'm going to mention name, as I mentioned Mr. Sheikh, Dr. Theologian Yasser Ghadi. I'm going to mention others' name and mention the weakness, the 1 cup of urine that they have put in 10 gallons of the milk and destroyed that one. And there are quite many of them. So contemplate, don't become a puppet. When you listen, analyze it. As I already mentioned, I started the speech, the person is so persuasive to make the salat on Friday, on Saturday. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And as I already mentioned, the place was filled up. Another masjid that they were making women to lead the salat. And they show her husband. I think they were from Pakistan or India, from their looking. And then Mr. Khairat is sitting on the back and proud that his wife is giving khutbah in the masjid. Word has changed. We have to go with the word. Muhammad was sitting on the camel, so we shouldn't take aeroplane. You see the logic reason that they talk about. So my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we are responsible for our action. And the Ashab of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were not theologians, they were not PhDs. Anything Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it's a samena wa atana. Whenever Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked question, Allah and His Rasul knows the best. They never ask any question. And because of them good doing, Allah Azza wa Jal was so pleased with them that He honored us with the Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. One night you worship Allah Azza wa Jal, you get more than 1,000. He put lower bound, He doesn't put upper bound. What is the upper bound? Could be 1 billion. One night I worship Allah, I get 1 billion of worshiping Allah. What a great wealth I get. Why? Because of the people, the Ashab of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were so obedient that they pleased Allah Azza wa Jal. They were 180 degrees different than children of Israel. And the followers of Hazrat Isa, that one of his own disciples is the one who betrayed him and they put him on cross. The Ashab of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they never did such a thing. So from the good of that, we are benefiting. We have the honor of Laylatul Qadr. And from exactly opposite of that is also true. If we do bad, others suffer from us. From our bad deed, the others suffer. So from the good, bad benefits. From the bad, good suffers. And when the number of bad increase, then Genghis Khan comes. And that is a subject about the destiny that I would like to mention, make a good talk about that comes from my own personal experience. It's different than you say Allah is written that and you get that one. I will go over that very clearly for you, inshallah. So it's not destiny is in our own hand. We are in charge of our own destiny. And I have physical, experimental, myself, proof for that. So it's not that Allah Azza wa Jal sent Genghis Khan. We borrowed Genghis Khan. Our own evil action borrowed Genghis Khan. And there is more Genghis Khan coming. There are more Genghis Khan coming. The world of Islam has become extremely polluted. The thieves, fornicators, alcoholic, addictive, drug addicts are filling up the Islamic world. Now they are trying to pollute the Islam. And many of the videos in YouTube, they are also inserting song, music to the good sermons of those people. I have put comment on that. I talking to the Imam that was giving sermon. My dear brother, respected brother, how could you permit that Huda TV or whatever it is to take your sermon and start to insert song in that? They are making that to sound like a Christian preach. That's exactly what Christianity is. They have song in there. They have background song. He's giving sermon, he's giving a speech in the class that somebody is giving mathematics or physics lecture. Does he have music playing for the students? Isn't that distracting? Why? Because it's a delicious what? Delicious side cake that they are putting, injecting on that. And people are used to it. Does anybody question? Not really. I only saw one person in the comment that he mentioned that one. Take that background music or song out of it. Even if it is recitation of Quran or something, no. He's giving a speech, not Quran, but by the way, some of them are dirty. It brings you exactly like you are in the church. So again, I repeat myself, inshallah, I will be making more talking about this kind of subject. I'm going to pinpoint my finger to those so-called scholars. They claim to be, and they are bringing a lot of beddah. They put not 1 cup, but sometimes they could put 10 gallon on a 10-gallon milk. They put 1 gallon of urine. Yes, there are, and people sitting and listening. And there are some of them that are entertainer, or thousands of people listening there. You see, all the population are laughing. This guy is giving a speech about Islam, or he is entertaining people. So they are using Islam to fill up their pocket. And Islam that they go to visit that, I don't know, from America, they go to some other part of the world, Indonesia or somewhere, they are making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 ahead of the time they get it. Their expenses are paid, and etc., etc. So are they going to spread Islam, or are they entertainer? And people sitting over there, even clapping hand is not acceptable in Islam. Because when you clap a hand, you're admiring the person, whatever he has said. And all praise is only to Allah Azza wa Jal. You don't praise no one.